We have our Food 24 wine expert in studio with us. Platters has just released their top 85 star wines and brandies. Cathy is going to share with us her top 4. So Cathy, welcome first of all. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your top 2 whites, and then we'll go on over to the reds.
Sure, no problems. I've got 2 white blends here today, and they're quite different white blends. The first one is from Flagstone, and this is what people would call a classic Bordeaux white blend. And everyone thinks that a Bordeaux blend is always a red wine, and actually it isn't. There are white grapes that are grown in the Bordeaux region as well. And this is a lovely wine. This is the 2nd year in a row that this has been 5 stars. It's a Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon blend. It's really lovely drinking for summer, and I must say as well, people often accuse the Platter wines of being really expensive. This is under 100 rand. You can actually buy about 85 rand a bottle.
That's amazing.
For one of the best wines in the country. I think it's an absolute steal. So I will be buying mine quickly before you all go out and buy yours. Yeah. So make sure there's still some left. So really lovely, nice, fresh, crisp, fruity, fantastic wine to have with food. Really, really nice wine. So that's the first one. And then the second one that I brought in is also a blend. But if we're going to call that a Bordeaux blend, you know, the grapes that come originally from Bordeaux, I think we're going to have to call this a Cape blend. A Cape blend. Okay. And again, everyone expects that a Cape blend is actually a red wine and normally involving pinotage, and that's the accepted terminology. But this is a blend that could only be made in South Africa because it's a blend of Chenin Blanc, Grenache, Roussanne and Viognier, and you're not allowed to blend those grape varieties all together in France.
Really?
So yeah, I know.
Why?
You're not allowed. That the appellation laws say that you can't actually put Chenin in with grape varieties that come from another region, which is the Rhone Valley. So they're not allowed to do that. But here in South Africa we can, and we do. And frankly, I think France should change its mind, because this is a lovely wine. Again, this is a 2nd time winner of 5 stars. And it's just really lovely. It's elegant, it's balanced, it's got lovely, lovely delicate oak in there. And this is a great wine to have for summer. Very, very nice. Both of these, you could keep them a little bit longer. I'm not sure how much longer they're going to last in my house. I think they might be drunk quite quickly.
And what's
they're not going to hang
range
around
on this one?
I think the Fairview is also quite good value. I'm stand to be corrected, but I think that's also about 100, maybe 120. I'm not too sure. Not overly expensive, certainly. Yeah.
Okay, great. And let's move on over to the reds.
Cool. So we've got 2. So these are previous winners. Both of these won last year as well as this year. So a nice bit of consistency. Both of these wines are actually by 1st-time winners. It's the first 5-star these guys have ever got, which is fantastic. This is the Hilton Vineyards Dalmatian Syrah. And Richard Hilton, who makes this wine, is also a tour guide. He's done lots of other things within the wine industry, but increasingly making his own wine is becoming what's important for him. This is a beautiful wine. And what's interesting about this one, it says Syrah on the label, but actually there's 5% of a white wine in here. There's 5% of Viognier, which is a white grape. Well, it is in France. These grape varieties come from the Rhone Valley. And if you go to places like Côte-Rôtie and some of the other sort of areas in the northern Rhone, they will quite often add a little bit of Viognier. So this is a very classic combination. I just thought that this was a stunning wine. You know, sometimes you drink a wine and it's like, do I want anything else from this wine? And the answer here was absolutely not. So I was really excited when they gave him 5 stars. I think this is absolutely lovely. Price on this, again, I'm not quite sure. I think it's still quite reasonable value. I think it's about the 200 mark, but I'm not too sure on that.
And how long would you recommend to keep it in the bottle before you drink it?
I think you could keep this for easily another sort of 3, 4, 5 years. I think it will just get better and better. It's a really nice wine. You'll enjoy that one. So that's that one pick. And then the other pick, I find it actually quite amazing that Rath's Family Wines hasn't won 5 stars yet. Breuvert has won 5 stars for another wine that he makes with his friend Zoe. But this is the first time that the Rath's Family Wines has actually got 5 stars. Breuvert Rath's is generally acknowledged as one, if not the, leading Cabernet Franc winemaker in South Africa.
Wow.
He is an astoundingly good maker of Cabernet Franc. And this is a great variety for us here in South Africa. It comes from quite a cool part of France generally, which is the Loire Valley. And what I think makes it so good in South Africa is that we've got all this lovely sunshine. We can really ripen the grapes wonderfully. We don't have any of the greenness that sometimes you can get from the Loire Valley reds. And we don't get that. We just get this beautiful ripeness, a lovely elegance of fruit. And this is just an amazing wine. People will really enjoy this. It's a little bit pricier. It's definitely one that you could actually lay down for a few more years as well and hang on to it, and it will just get better and better.
How many years would you say?
I think you could easily go probably another 10 years from vintage, so another sort of 7 or 8 years. I think it will just do fine. Absolute pure drinking pleasure.
You're making me thirsty. Cool. So those are your top 4 platters. Where can people pick up the Platters guide?
It's in the shops now, as far as I'm aware. You can get it from lots of specialist retailers. Caroline's will sell it, Wine Concepts will sell it. I talked with Carrie Adams from Norman Goodfellows, and she's expecting a huge shipment to arrive any day now. So that should be available in store now.
And just for people who don't know, Platters features, is it the best wines in South Africa?
It actually covers nearly all wines. They're submitted for review, and then there's a whole big panel of people who will taste them, and then they're judged, they're tasted, so we know what wines we're tasting when we're actually tasting them, but then the ones that we think are the best get nominated, and then they get tasted blind, and if they're really good and they make it through that blind tasting, then they get awarded 5 stars. So, you know, it's a guide, it's not a Bible, it's not, you know, these are the only ones that are any good, and, you know, some people's picks will not go down well with everybody. But certainly in terms of giving you an idea of what wines are good and what's interesting and what's out there, I think it's a fantastic book to read. It's very good.
I think I'm definitely going to pick up those whites.
Excellent.
I really like your good value for money.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah. And they do that as well. And I'm actually quite proud because my nomination for the Super Coiffer was given the Super Coiffer of the Year this year. So if you want real value, you must go to Boland Cellar. And they've got a Chenin Blanc that's about 32 rand. And
that's amazing.
That is my summer drinking. I'm telling you, I'm buying it by the case.
Maybe I should pick up a few cases before you get there.
Absolutely, definitely.
Okay, great. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us and sharing these wines with us.
Lovely, thank you.